Welcome back to Top Shelf EDU. Today, I'm joined by Molly Gramada, who just completed her first year at McGill University studying kinesiology. Thanks for joining me, Molly.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Now, I know you had a lot of choices in what school you were going to attend. Why did you choose McGill?
Honestly, I think growing up in Victoria, it's just such a small town, and McGill is like right downtown in Montreal. So I feel like that was super appealing. And then I just kind of wanted to be able to explore. And also, it's really close to cool travel destinations like New York and stuff. So for reading breaks, you can easily go and travel. I don't know. It's just the big city kind of was really appealing, and I wasn't feeling U of T. So it was kind of McGill was the optimal choice.
Great. Now,
Mhm.
when students step onto campus their first day or even their first week, what kind of things should they expect? Are there any traditions that the school helps students kind of settle in, meet new people?
Well, there was like a kind of two main things. There's residence things, and then there's also Frosh, which is like as soon as you start, basically. But you have about 3 days when you move in, and then you meet, say, like your roommate. If you get a double room, like you meet your roommate, and then you meet everyone in your res, and you like kind of they take you all to the field house, and it's kind of like what SMU has. Like they put you in like house shirts, and then you just kind of like meet everyone. So that's a nice way to meet people in your res and like make friends with your neighbors. So they have that. And then the main event is Frosh, where it's like you meet people in your program. So that's like super, super important because honestly, like some of the friends that I made in Frosh, like I am still friends with. Um, but it does happen after classes start. And it's really, really easy to make friends in your classes. So it's best to make friends in your classes. Like I'm speaking specifically from science because we all have the same first year classes. So like when you go to your classes for the first like few days, it's like intro stuff. So you meet like the girls that you sit with and then, oh, they're in your Frosh group. Like that's so awesome. So like that's honestly my main friends, like my real friend group I met within the first like week.
That's
Yeah.
great. So you
Mhm.
said in the first year in kinesiology, all your classes are kind of general. When do you actually start specializing in your kinesiology classes?
Pretty much all of my courses are required for kin. Like, for any science degree, all of the first year courses are the same. So, like, if you wanted to do biological sciences or the like chemistry sciences, that kind of group, you have to take the same classes as everyone. So that's calc, chem, physics, and bio first semester, and then like another set of those classes after. So the first 2 semesters are really similar. It's just like the harder versions in semester 2.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, so first year everyone takes the same courses, and then next year I have more kin specific ones, but they're all still required courses.
Okay. Now, when you're talking about the courses,
Yeah.
are they more lecture based? Are they smaller? Are they a mix of both? Can you kind of tell me about how a few of your classes may have looked for students?
Um, okay, so they're all lectures because they're all really big. There's like I wanna say, like, 700 kids, like, per lecture. There's about 2 lectures per, like, course. Like, say for general chemistry, like, the first semester chem, it's, like, 1 lecture section with, like, 700 kids, and then, like, another with 700 kids because there's so many people in science, and chem is required for everyone, right? So, all of the lectures are super big, and then there's lab components for chem, bio, and physics. And then physics also has mandatory tutorials, and then calc has tutorials as well. So it's like lectures, but then most of your time goes to like the 2-hour labs for each class, and then like the tutorials after and everything. Like yeah, so not just lectures.
Okay. Now, in the lectures, are they looking for participation? Or are you just taking notes? Do you even have to show up? Do they know?
Physics physics is the one that's mandatory attendance because they do this thing called Vivox polls, which is like, you scan a QR code on your phone and you have to answer questions, and it's pretty interactive, and if you get, like, the attendance points, like, you show up for class and you get the amount that you need, then that counts towards your mark at the end. So it's like a free, like, 100% for like 5% of the total. So it's like so helpful. Like you go to physics class, um, but the rest, like, they wouldn't know if you didn't go. But I mean, I went because it's like helpful to take notes and stuff. And honestly, like, I would never watch the recordings because some of the classes, like bio, is pretty boring. So, like, I would never watch it on my own time, but it's okay if you go and you're, like, with your friends and then, like, I don't know, it's, like, big lecture room, so you, like, know a lot of the kids in there, like, it's more fun than watching it on your own, so I would definitely go, but you don't need to.
And one of the things that I always ask the students, is there something that surprised you maybe around the assessments, maybe, how much they're worth? Is there anything that students should know kind of going in?
Um, I feel like there's a few kinda, like, specific things for specific classes, like, for physics, I don't think you could fail that class if you tried, and, I mean, I'm really bad at physics, so and, like, I only had Physics 11, I didn't even know that I was meant to take physics, but I had to take 2 university physics classes, so, but for physics, you, like, can't fail the course because there's so much of your mark that's weighted for labs, but also, like, pre-lecture video assignments, and then just, like, something they call A&S assignments, and then like, tutorials, and then participation in class, so that class is, like, I mean, it's definitely not easy, but, like, you can't really fail, but Calc is one of those classes where you have a midterm and a final, and that's it. Like, it's it's a bad one. It's it's a really bad one for both calcs, Calc 1 and Calc 2. It's the same. It's just midterm and final. So it's a big deal.
Yeah, that's one of the things that when I'm talking to students, that was the biggest adjustment, coming from high school and you have whether it's projects or a few tests here and there, and then maybe a midterm and then some more tests and then a final. But when everything's put into the midterm and the final, that's a lot of your overall marks. So how do you
Yeah.
prepare for that? Was that an adjustment?
Um, yeah, I think because even in science courses in high school, there was still projects, like, they would make us do, like, presentations or, like, kinda stuff that's, like, a bit more, like, fun or, like, not easy marks, but stuff that I found a lot easier than just, like, sitting and doing, like, calculations on a test. So there was a lot more, like, filler stuff in high school, and then I had, like, except for physics, chem, there was, like, no assignments, like, it's basically just the tests and then your midterms and finals, but, the lab marks are, like, worth, like, 30 to 40% of your overall grade, so if you do well in the labs, then you're pretty much set, like, you can't fail the class, you just still need to do well on the tests, but so, like, if I was going straight from high school, like, don't not think about the labs because also we didn't really have labs in high school, but then these are full, like, you need to write in pen, you can't erase anything, like, you have, like it's, like, 2-hour periods that you have to go in, and you have to, like, know you have to make flowcharts for every chem lab, so it's, like, you have to write out the whole procedure, like, it's a really time-consuming process, but, like, do well in those, or else, like, that's, like, the buffer for your for your tests.
That's great advice for sure. In terms of the, learning, in terms of experiential research, study abroad, when do students have opportunities at McGill for any of those?
I know Eng does, like, co-op internships, like, Eng is, like, a big thing, so they kinda have their own thing going on, but for study abroad, people usually do it, like, 3rd year, and they do it in the winter semester, so January to, like, March because the weather is horrible, so everyone, like, wants to leave. So that's when you do it, but I'm not really sure because obviously people don't do it in 1st year, and 2nd year is a bit too soon. So it's more later on in your years.
Okay. Now, you kind of helped me transition to the next aspect. In terms of weather, it's sometimes it can get a little bit cold and sometimes it can be a little bit snowy or a lot of snow. How is the transition there? And does McGill have anything to help students travel around campus?
No, they have nothing. No, there's, there's no help at all, no. Um, it was brutal this year because it was one of the longest winters that they've had in a while. So, it was just really long, and during the, um, December exam period, so, final exams before we came home for Christmas, it was honestly so horrible because you would go to the library and you'd be there for so long, and then by 5 p.m., it was pitch black and snowing and, -26. So then you'd walk home from the library. It was so bad. It was so bad. So the weather is it's a nightmare, honestly, but the first, August, September, October, gorgeous, nicer than Victoria, it's stunning, and then it just goes downhill so fast.
No, it must be starting to come back uphill a little bit now.
Yeah, it's getting a bit better, but when I left, May 1st, no, May 2nd or something, and it was, maybe, 8 degrees. It was kinda ugh, it was, raining. So, yeah, but it's nice in, the fall semester, but just not in the winter, it's horrible.
Okay, so that's one thing for future students and families to kind of consider. If you are thinking about McGill, think about the weather and what type of weather you would like to have. Now,
Yeah,
are you do you speak French?
no, not at all.
Okay, so I'm just going to ask about how it is
Mm.
being in a French speaking city culture. How do you find that transition and is it easy or do you find it difficult in some ways?
Being honest, it's not French at all. Like, it's an English university, so, this is just my experience too because, I am not French. There's, a French kinda side of things where it's people, from France who come to McGill. Um, but usually, the French kids kinda stick together, and 1st year, we don't have anyone from Montreal because they all do CEGEP, so that's, another year, so there's no one from Montreal, so we don't have any, Quebecois or anything, it's very international and, Canada, America students. But, yeah, the French is not it's such a non-issue, and, if you go shopping or, downtown or anything, it's English.
Okay, that's really good,
Mhm,
for people that are considering it and they don't speak French. It's not
mhm.
really gonna affect you, so that's
Not
really
at
good to
all.
know.
You'll be fine, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Now, how do you find the atmosphere at McGill? Is it competitive? Is it collaborative? Is it fun? Can you tell us a little bit about your experience?
I love it. I love it. It's so fun. My friends are so awesome. I think it's really important that you should make friends in your program or in your classes because it actually makes such a difference. For example, another girl from SMU came and her name's Zara, and she has a wonderful group of business girls, and I have a wonderful group of science girls. It's just so easy to stay friends, but also hang out with the girls in your classes because you can study with them and you can help each other out. I'd say science is super, not competitive because you have to work together in labs, so you end up meeting a lot of people in your classes just because you, literally have to work with them. They're, your lab partner. So, I don't know, you don't really get a choice, but I think I've heard that, that business is a lot more competitive because it's, I guess, more the nature of, they have more group projects and, public speaking kind of stuff. So I think that tends to become a bit more competitive. But specifically for science, I feel like everyone's just kinda trying to thug it out together, honestly, do whatever you can to, pass the course. So I think it's super yeah, it's super, collaborative and honestly, a wonderful community. Same with Eng. Eng is, a really tight-knit community, so
Okay,
Mhm.
that's really good to hear.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of clubs, are there any clubs or sororities or, anything that people can get a part of, and do you encourage that?
There are frats and sororities, but they're not like a huge thing. Like sometimes they host parties, but because of the legal age being 18 in Montreal, it's not necessarily like one of those state schools in America where it's like frats are like the number one thing because they're not like you can go anywhere. So it's not necessarily like a huge deal, but there are, if you want to get involved in like Greek life, there are some really cute sororities and there's some frats too. So that's your vibe, then go for it. And there's intramurals, but um there's not a lot of like clubs and stuff to join necessarily in my opinion. Like they have one at the start of the year and it's like a club fair, but the clubs are like student wellness club or like they're not like oh volleyball club or they're not like actual clubs. It's more like associations where it's like I don't necessarily have time or the interest in being part of that. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's a bit different than high school.
Okay. Now
Mhm.
we're gonna jump over to the residence because you talked about that at the beginning. What are
Mhm.
the residences like, and is it a automatic first year, or like are you gonna have to look for somewhere else to live next year? How does that work?
Yeah, so everyone in first year stays in res, so, like, definitely stay in res because it's just how you make all your friends and because everyone has to get a meal plan if you stay in res, which, like, everyone's in res. So, you go from, like, your classes and often, like, I have the same classes with every single one of my friends, so, like, you go to your classes and then you go to one of the dining halls together, and you can go to any of the dining halls, and it's just so easy because then, like, honestly, you make so many friends in the dining hall, like, it's you just sit wherever with whoever, and it's, like, really fun. Um, so that's a big part of res too is, like, the dining halls and, like, meeting people, and yeah, I had a roommate, and she was awesome. She's one of my really good friends too, and, so yeah, just make sure that you're getting if you have a roommate, like, find, like, a good one because it's a big deal living with someone, like, I've never lived one-on-one with just, like, a friend before, so yeah, make sure you don't fight with your roommate. Um, and yeah, definitely live in res. But second year, we all found like new places to live because you don't live in res second year. It's like you find place in like the McGill ghetto. So like the like kind of like the houses around like the campus or in the plateau. So
Okay.
mhm.
And how is the food in the residence?
you
You just
know,
answered that.
it's not great. Um,
But there is a lot of food around Montreal that is very, very good.
Yeah, the food in Montreal is really good. Yeah. The food in res isn't that bad either, and, they have, like, a lot of options because I, like, went fully vegetarian, and they still have options, like, it's totally fine, and they always have, like, a salad bar and, they have, like, pasta and pizza, so they always have that, but then they change their food up every day, so
Okay. Now,
mhm.
in terms of the cost of moving off campus,
Mhm.
how expensive is that? Is that, similar to Victoria, to Toronto?
Not at all. Montreal is so much cheaper. Like, honestly, everything's a lot cheaper. Like, if I go grocery shopping or whatever, if I need like study snacks, everything is so much cheaper than like if you go grocery shopping here in Vancouver. And my brother's at UBC, and finding him a place was so much harder than it was for me to find my own place. And yeah, I could just do it with my friends, and we were able to find it like without the help of our parents. And rent is super cheap, and yeah, we're still living near all of our friends, so I'm really excited. Our place is super cute.
That's awesome. That's so exciting.
Mhm.
What's something that outsiders may misunderstand about McGill?
Um, I'd go with maybe they think that just because it's in Montreal, it's like everyone goes and does something every day, but honestly, it's so much work that like a lot of my weekends and stuff is just like at the library. So it's not necessarily like living in, like, the city is super cool, and if you have free time, it's so exciting to go to, like, Old Port and explore, or, do something like that. But even if you're going to Old Port to explore, it's to go to like a cafe to do some work. So like it's super fun being in the city, but it's not like I have a lot of free time to explore the city, if that makes sense.
It does for sure.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you wish you knew before committing to McGill, having now that you have finished your first year?
Um, just that honestly, I'd say maybe the labs, like it's an obscene amount of work, like I can't lie. Like it's so much work because it's not just like the 2-hour period that you have to be there. It's like you have to do so much prep for it. Like, for example, for the chem labs, like it takes me like 3 hours to make like a flow chart because you have to like make drawings and stuff. Like they're super finicky about what they'll accept and how they grade it. So it's so much prep time and so much time spent to the actual lab that it's and you have 3 mandatory labs, like, per semester, right, for physics, bio, and chem, and it's, like, so much work. Like, for physics, the labs are super stressful because it's timed, and you can't, submit it after the deadline or you'll get a 0. So, it's, like, these crazy labs, and you're like, "I don't know how to build a circuit and do this and do the measurements," and then the uncertainty is, like, I don't know how to do that in the lab, so you have to do a lot of it before. So it's just like a lot of my time goes to my labs. So just take that in mind.
Okay, good to know for all you first year students that are coming in to study any sciences or kinesiology. Make sure that you prep for that time that you're going to be spending.
Mhm.
Now we're going to do 3 more questions, and they're kind of rapid fire.
Okay.
What's the best place to study on campus?
I'm a big fan of, Schulich. It's like the engineering library. It's I don't know, it's there's different floors. So the 5th floor is like if you're gonna, like, casually study because it's, like, a loud floor. And then 4th is, like, kinda talking, and then 3rd and 6th floor are dead silent. So that's a good place if you want to go with friends or if you wanna, like, actually really, really, like, do your work. That's awesome. Or the other big library is McLennan, which is okay, but it's kind of sad, so I'm not a big fan.
Okay. Now you already talked about the food and how much you loved it.
Yeah.
What's the best place to grab a bite of eat, either whether it's on campus or even off campus nearby?
Um, on campus, they have 2 well, they have a Booster Juice, which is awesome, but in the same area that they have a Booster Juice, they have this place called Dispatch, and it's coffee, and you can use your One card on it. So it's like I have my ID here. It's they, take your student ID, and then you just scan it, and then it goes to it's like Flex dollars for UBC, like, they call it One Card. So you can use your One Card there. That's where all my money went on coffees, and then they also have cafe called Gertz, which is good, and then off campus, they have somewhere called Spirulina's, which is, um they have, like, smoothie bowls and, like, it's, like, green. Like, I don't know how to explain it other than, like, super healthy, like, food, so it's nice if that's what you're feeling during the day. So, yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
great. Those are great spots for anybody that is starting to attend McGill and you want to find a good spot to eat. Last question. What's one piece of advice that you would give to a new student who will be attending McGill either next year or in the future?
Um, just that, honestly, like, it's a big school, but everybody is connected. Like, it doesn't feel big because friend of a friends know other people's friends of friends. Like, feel like I know everyone in 1st year. Like, I think if I drew out a big map, I could place everyone on it, which is super cool, but also, like, you just make sure that you're super nice and friendly because if you're not like that, it's like smooth, like, it's almost kind of like a smaller community where that'll that'll get around to the friends of friends. So just be super nice and outgoing and, yeah, meet as many people as you can because it's awesome.
That is such great advice. And Molly, thank you so much for joining me today and giving such great insight into what McGill is like and what future students will be experiencing. And I'm really excited to hear about your next few years and how your university life goes, and we'll catch up again sometime soon. But thank you again so much.
Great. Thank you for having me. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Top Shelf EDU, your inside look at the university experience. If you found this episode helpful, be sure to subscribe and share it with someone exploring their path to higher education. We'll be back with more insights, stories, and advice to help you navigate your journey. See you next time.